what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is another overnighter, and I did bring my buddy Mike with me again.
Hey!
You guys might recognize this area. So we were here just about 2 weeks ago now, and already we're being swarmed by the same horde of black flies and mosquitoes. It is quite windy out here, again, just like last time. This is our campfire area. You guys might recognize this. So tonight we're actually doing a double tarp camp setup. We're going to be set up down the way a little bit, so we are going to be coming here with the fire, and oh my gosh, these are crazy. So we're going to get set up really quick. We have a very large setup and a very interesting tarp setup to go along with a wood stove for cooking purposes, because obviously it's warm out right now. So it's still going to get down to about 10 degrees tonight though, so it is going to cool off quite a bit. Not cold, but
enough for an excuse.
Yeah, enough for an excuse, and these bugs are nuts, so let's get everything set up. Alright guys, so what we've got for a setup is I brought two Wolf Den 2.0 tarps. I have a center pole from a different tent, and we're hoping this center pole is actually going to be tall enough to use as an anchor point for both tarps. So we're going to do two plow point shelters facing each other with a central pole. We're going to put a wood stove in the middle, and then we each brought two mesh inners. So I'm going to have a mesh inner on my side, Mike will have a mesh inner on his side. And basically we're going to have a nice kind of shelter area, and then both sides are going to be wide open. So the lake's going to be open and the campfire side will be open. This will be closed and that'll be closed. We've got the perfect location right here down on the dirt. This setup is going to take a long time though with the wind, a lot of guy lines, a lot of pegs. So we're going to get started and hopefully get it done quickly. Okay guys, so we finally got both tarp setups completely set up. I've got my mesh inner inside, Mike has his mesh inner inside. We're running the exact same tarp and the exact same mesh inner, so the setup was actually really easy and very predictable at the same time. I've got my center pole that I brought with my with the whole setup. This center pole is actually from a Nortent product, and luckily it worked out. I did not test this before I left home, I should have. But luckily it worked out. It was tall enough to guy that out. Everything is secure, and it is very, very, very tight to the point where we don't actually need guy lines coming off to the sides, because the tarps are guyed out to the side. So That is very, very strong, and I'm actually very surprised that it's not flapping around because it is quite windy out right now. So the next step is we're going to get our sleeping gear inside of our separate mesh inners, our pads, our blankets, all that stuff. And then I did bring a very large titanium wood stove. We're going to share the stove. So these tarps do have stove jacks. However, what we're going to do is we're going to put the stove centrally located. We're going to dig out the gravel a little bit and plop the stove down right here. And then I'll have half the stove, Mike will have half, and we'll run the chimney pipe straight up and out, and then we'll guy out the spark arrestor to the ground to stop that from flailing around. And we'll have a nice outdoor fire pit while we're still sheltered underneath of the tarps. Okay guys, so for our wood stove setup today, I'm going to be using the Pomali T-Brick Max. This is a new stove. It is actually a double-decker stove. Pretty wild design. I do have a review on this. If you guys are interested in finding out a little bit more information about it, you can do so. I'll put the link down in the description of this video. But this stove holds a ton of firewood, and it also has a mix of shelves, glass panels, side panels. This is basically the Cadillac of stoves. Not meant for backpacking, I will say that. So this is a truck camping trip. I decided to bring the big boy, and this is going to be basically our cooking stove for inside of the shelter, and just farting around inside of the shelter later on tonight. If we don't want to be out by the fire pit, we can sit down by the water with the wood stove and hang out down there. So I want to get all this assembled, get it down over towards the tarp shelter, and get it set. Okay guys, we're having an afternoon coffee right now. Mike's on his side over here. I've got my side. I gotta say, we have a ton of room underneath of our shelters. A load of room. I'm actually really happy with this. So if it does come down with rain, we're both completely dry. We're both tucked in quite far underneath the tarp. We're totally dry. And of course it's not calling for rain, but just in case it does, I mean, these shelters offer a lot put together face to face. I mean, if you were out on a truck camping trip like we are today by yourself and you happen to bring two, you could do sleeping on one side and then living quarters on the other side and cooking or whatever you'd like to do. But for today, I think this is going to work really good for the both of us. We got a lakefront view, so right out the back there we can see the lake, so that'll be nice in the morning time. And we got the wood stove here. Mike's got a glass window on his side, I've got one on my side, so we can kind of monitor that throughout the night if it is going. But for now, we are going to relax, have our coffee. I was kind enough to bring Mike a miniature table. So I brought my titanium table with me, and this is version 2. And Mike is using version 1 today, so last time he didn't have a table and he felt a little sad. This time he's got a table.
And I'm working on one right now, getting my own. So,
so we're going to have 2 small tables under here for our own little needs and whatnot. So I think I am going to cook on the wood stove later on this evening. It's a toss up between cooking on here or moving over to the campfire, lighting that and cooking over there. We're going to talk about it a little bit back and forth to see what we end up with doing. But this is an option for later on this evening, keeping our gear nice and organized and whatnot. And it makes things so much easier around camp. So that's our deal right now. We're going to be chilling out, have some coffee, and then right after that we are going to need to get some firewood, both for the outdoor fire and for the wood stove, get that all processed down, and then we might even go fishing before food or do food and then fishing. We'll have to wait and see. Okay guys, we are now processing some wood for the wood stove and the outside campfire. There was a tree standing right behind us. This is an old dead tree, and we're sitting back in the shelters, and the wind comes up and we can see the tree rocking back and forth quite bad. So we went over to the tree, checked it out, and it is absolutely dead, bone dry and full of fat wood. So we decided to take the tree, get that fly out of my eyeball. Whew, these bugs are bad. So we decided to take the tree down because it was blowing back and forth. It is totally dead. We're going to burn it all, both in the stove and in the campfire. Whatever we have left over, we're going to leave it for someone else to enjoy. They can come here and have a little bit of firewood like we did last time. We are running out of light though. The sun is going to be setting in about 2 hours. We want to have all this processed for the stove and the outside fire, get that burning to get these bugs out of here because they are terrible right now. And it'll be time to relax.
Again.
maybe do a little bit of fishing and relax next to the campfire or in the shelter, whichever. But we still got a fair bit of work to do, so we're going to chip away at this, get it all taken care of, and then light the fire. Alright guys, we're starting to get this fire pit ready, and these flies are just insane right now. I don't know if the camera can pick up this giant swarm. Ugh.
They are relentless.
It is terrible, just like the last time we were here about 2 weeks ago. Absolutely ridiculous. You think we would have learned our lesson last time, but apparently not. So we're gonna get this fire going and hope for the best. Hope for the best, because this is getting to be a little too much. So we're gonna get the birch bark on there, get a lot of this dry pine and spruce on there, and just light an inferno with that birch bark. And Mike, you might as well do the honors again like you did last time.
Hey!
And
What's a fire steel this time?
yeah, we'll get a fire steel out here, no lighter this time. And we'll get this going, and hopefully we'll build enough smoke and enough heat to drive these bugs away. And then we are going to be cooking over by the fire again, just like we did last time, because the bugs are just crazy and they're not going to get away from us over by the shelter. So
No.
Let's get this going. Big, nasty, hot. I want smoke, I want the bug gone, and I want to start cooking. All right, guys, we are now getting ready to cook supper. We're just kind of doing a little bit of food prep right now, so I'll run you guys through what we brought for supper this trip, because last time we did a little bit of a basic dinner, but this trip we wanted to do something a little bit different. So Mike went ahead and he brought a whole trout, and he seasoned the inside of it. It actually looks pretty good, and he's got some vegetables on the side that he's going to do up. I think you're on the fence on that, or are you doing that?
I'm going to do about half of them, half
okay.
for when I go home.
So he's got half veggies that he's going to do, and maybe a little bit of half at home. Show him your frying pan. So this is interesting. Mike actually forgot his frying pan, but he did bring a wood stove. He actually brought the Timberwolf wood stove.
Yeah. There's my frying pan.
That is grill, a basically. Side panel to his wood stove. So that's the outside of the wood stove. Yeah. That's the inside of the wood stove.
Yeah.
So pretty clever. He's actually going to put that on top of a grill, put some butter on that, and then toss his fish on and cook that way. I'm interested to see how it works out. Hopefully it works out well. It is going to be on top of a grill, so it will be solid, so it's not going to want to warp or anything like that under the weight of the fish. And then me, what I got going on is I actually have white fish, one of these frozen portions that I just pulled out of the fridge. I've got a bunch of things going on. I've got a lemon, I've got spinach, I've got snap peas, I've got cherry tomatoes, I've got red onion, green onion, garlic, olive oil, avocado, and I'm basically just going to cook all this up. I'm going to be doing the fish. I'm going to lay that on a bed of spinach, squirt a lemon juice, and then I'm actually going to be cooking up a tomato sauce. That's what the onions and the olive oil and the garlic is. And then I'm going to drizzle that over top of my fish, and then we're going to enjoy supper. So not quite a simple dinner, but it's kind of simple. I mean, he's doing a fish. I'm just kind of doing a fish with a drizzle over top. And we're going to enjoy the evening. The sun is setting. We are going to be doing some fishing. We're not sure if we're going to save that till later on this evening or if we're going to do it right after supper. But the fire's burning. We've got all of our firewood in the shelter. Let's get cooking so we can enjoy the evening.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
All right, let's get this over to the fire. All right, guys, so we're now cooking. I've got my fish in my pan. I'm gonna sear the bottom, flip it, sear that side. And then I have my dish down here with my bed of spinach. I've got my lemon. I've got a couple snap peas that I want to toss in the pan at the very, very end, just to give them a little bit of a cook. But basically what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna cook my fish, and then I'm gonna lay it down on my bed of spinach, and I'm gonna drizzle a little bit of lemon juice on that. Like I said, I'm gonna cook my snap peas very briefly. But once all that's done, I'm going to set this off to the side and let it rest. And then I'm going to turn my attention to my cherry tomatoes and my other cup of olive oil, garlic, onion, and green onion. I want to toss that all in the pan, bring that up to like a nice little sauce, and cook it down just a little bit. Might add a little bit of water to it. And then I'm basically just going to drizzle it over top of my fish, a little bit of lemon juice, and that's going to be supper for me. Mike is buttering up his fish right now. He's actually putting butter on the outside. And then he's going to toss it down on top of his makeshift frying pan. I'm actually interested to see what happens because I'm looking at it and it looks like it'll work. So that's where we're at right now. I'm just going to give this fish a quick little flip. And cooking this nice and slow. We're just relaxing right now. I mean, the bugs are still out. The sun's setting. It's that time of the evening where the bugs should be letting up. Last time we were here, it was about 8 o'clock and the bugs were kind of gone. So who knows? We'll see what happens. But let's give this a flip. Oh yeah. Try not to burn myself. Oh yeah.
That's looking pretty tasty.
Some white fish there.
Smells good.
Smells good. No seasoning, no salt, no pepper, none of that. No. We're going natural flavors today. So I'm excited about this. Okay guys, supper is ready. Mike's doing the rest of his vegetables right now. His fish is all done. I've got my dinner. We're gonna relax right now and hopefully these bugs will bug off shortly. But let's get into this fish and sauce. Oh yeah. Oh, that's good. All right, guys, we are all done with supper. Clean up, everything is done, and we are now ready to relax. We didn't do any fishing today.
No.
Not today. Probably in the morning, possibly. We'll see how that goes and how we're feeling and whatnot. But listen to the lake. Frogs, crickets, peepers, all kinds of things out there. We heard a loon earlier on, so who knows, he might come back.
Beaver.
Beaver, we saw a beaver, so that was pretty cool. Yeah. But I think tonight we're just gonna relax tonight, and we're gonna pack the camera away and just sit back and enjoy the campfire, the sounds of the lake. We do have the wood stove going in the shelter, and that thing is rocking. I can see it flickering away.
Oh yeah.
That thing is rocking out some serious heat, so it might be a little too toasty in the open tarp shelter tonight, but it'll be nice just talking in there later on when we do leave the campfire, and probably watch a movie. I think you're watching a movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch my own movie, so we'll be kind of doing our separate things, but having that glow from the campfire and just the crackling sound, and easy just to reach out with the kettle, put it on top to make coffee or whatever. So this is gonna be us for the rest of the night, guys. I think we'll pack the camera away and we'll just chill out for the night.
Oh, my frying pan, makeshift frying pan turned out pretty awesome.
Yes.
Now I gotta order a new side panel for my stove.
Yeah, it actually worked out pretty good. So the side panel, the whole fish was on there. It cooked up really good. It looked really good.
It was excellent.
So pretty decent. So that's all we got for you guys tonight. We will see you first thing in the morning for coffee. Good night, guys.
Night.
Good morning, guys. It is a beautiful morning out here. The bugs are out and they are quite heavy right now, so we've got black flies and mosquitoes. We do have the stove smoking quite a bit to try and drive some of these out of here, but I think it's going to be a very, very buggy day, so we're probably going to continue just moving forward and getting some things done. I'm interested in trying some fishing this morning, so that's probably what I'm going to do as soon as I'm done eating. But we had a great night, so Mike said that he slept really good last night. I slept really good last night. Just laying here, once all the lights were off, I could see up through the tarp all the stars in the sky. I could see the flames coming out of the glass. The moon even came out, a little crescent moon. So that was pretty awesome. The frogs and the crickets were constant all night. All night. So it was definitely a very, very enjoyable sleep. And up very early this morning. So get some breakfast done, get some coffee routine done, try some fishing while the stove burns out, and then we'll slowly pick away at our pack-up process. Alright guys, we're back from fishing. Both of us had no luck. I did have a hit though, but I think the fish is too small to actually grab the bait that I was using. So it was relaxing. I actually got into it pretty good there for a few minutes as I was standing on a rock and just kind of watching the bait kind of go through the water. There were some fish following it, but like I said, they're much too small to even bother catching, to be honest. So no luck on large fish today. The stove is somewhat cooled down though, so I am going to pull the pipe off and pick up the whole stove unit, move it away from the shelter, and then that way we can slowly pick away at packing up all of our gear and not have to worry about burning our stuff with the stove. Table, cooking gear, chair, sleeping stuff, everything we're going to get out of here, and the last thing we're going to take down will be the tarps. We'll fold those up and then stow those in the back of the truck, and hopefully that'll all go pretty smooth. Okay guys, we've got everything packed inside of the truck. We have a ton of gear. One interesting thing that we did not mention yesterday is we're actually not going home today. We're heading into a different location. However, we're going to be hiking into that location. We're not going to be driving the truck. So we've got enough gear in here for a second night. We're going to be doing hammocks. You'll have to tune in to that video the following week, and it's going to be an interesting one. So we've got a whole new setup in the truck. We're going to get in our backpacks once we drive near location. Then we're going to hike in from there and continue on. So this trip, this night, I should say, 1 out of 2, this was good. This was fun. Supper was good. You cooked on a side panel of your stove as a frying pan, so that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
My dinner went really well in my actual frying pan, so I was happy with that. Everything came down really easy, so the pack up was very simple. The stove came down, tarps came down really easy. All in all, I'm actually really happy with this loadout that we did last night, and I'm looking forward to tonight because, like I said, totally different setup, going to be really, really awesome. So, all in all, a really good trip. The clouds are in the sky now. The wind is starting to pick up, so who knows? Tonight we might actually get some wind and rain.
Yeah, hopefully the bugs will disperse.
Yeah, the bugs will get out of here, but some rain would be pretty awesome, especially with our
Yeah.
setups that we're going to be using. I think it'd be really cool.
Would be.
So that's all we got for you guys. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we will catch you in the next video. Be sure to drop your comments and questions down in the comment section. And like I said, be on the lookout for night number 2. That'll be uploaded the following week from this video. So that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Peace out, guys.
Later.
See you in the next video.